Hello my little gore friends, and welcome back to another Goretober video. I hope you guys are all excited for this week's video. So, with this week, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to try and give stories to these pieces while I am doing this voiceover. It's going to be on the spot, no script, and I'm just going to try and make up stories as I go while the video in the background is playing the art piece in the speed paint. So I hope you guys do enjoy this. Let's move on to the first one. Hooks. You never know how hard it is to be chained up. How to be lost, utterly confused. How to look around and see hooks piercing through your body, your flesh torn off, rotting from your face. No one ever really says how painful death really is, especially not when your eyes forced open by a hook, making you watch as everything around you slowly fades to black. How scary it is. How sometimes death is wicked, harmful, it hurts. Not like the peaceful slumber everybody wants to fall into. How gruesome and vile it can be. How painful. But also, how funny. Looking around, seeing the faces of people who are absolutely horrified with the monster that they made with their own hands. As blood pools from all over your body, your skin flaking off at the top. So I didn't really do much for that piece, but anyway, it was a short little thing I'm making up on the fly, so if it sounds like shit, that's why. But on to our next piece. This one is, I believe, one of my favorites I've actually made, and I think this is the one I actually did a little bit of animation for. Not a lot, but a little. Autopsy. You know, death is cruel. It's even crueler when you die, or you're presumed dead, only to wake up on an autopsy table. Still alive, still breathing, but paralyzed. Your neck broke, your limbs unresponsive. But somehow, you're still breathing. Somehow, everything just feels numb. They haven't cut you open yet, but they also haven't noticed that you're looking at them. Horror on your face, at least in your eyes. Nobody can tell the horror on your face because your mouth is sewn shut. They at least have the decency to put tape on your body to cover up any inappropriate bits, but they didn't do much else. You're practically laying on the table, blood pooling around you as they drain your body. But you're still alive. You don't know how. You don't know why. Has God forsaken you? Did you do something to deserve such a painful way to go? Why did everybody think you were dead? You can't remember a thing. Can't even remember your own name. Only the people around you. This didn't seem right. I mean, just yesterday you were playing in the garden with your friends, on your phones, and then now you're on an autopsy table waiting to be cut open. It didn't feel right. How was things supposed to end like this? And why? You'll never know. But what you'll never know the most is, why aren't you dead? That was autopsy, and I just came up on that with the fly, just thinking. So again, if these are shit, let me know. I'm trying something different here. Anyway, this next piece is Skinned Alive and Hooks. That prompt already had some aspects of it, so I'm like, what the hell am I to do? This is the piece I hate the most, but I'll try and make a story for it. Creaking. That's all you could hear in the woods. It was a dark day. You didn't know anybody around you till you see this figure. At first you thought it was Slender Man, the famous creepypasta, because everybody always thinks that when they hear a noise in the woods. No? Just you? Okay. Anyway, you laugh it off and walk away, thinking it's just another person, but the figure looked off. Weirdly contorted, head broken, neck backwards. The body looked skinned alive and in pain. Did somebody do that to a human being? But why was it moving? Why did it sound like it was calling out to somebody? To its mother, its father, anyone that would listen? Yeah, that's all I got for that one. Like I said, I did not like that piece. Even though I have it like contorted in a weird way, it's just not my favorite because I didn't know what to do. Now, this next piece is Camp Counselor. The Camp Counselor. He was known as the protector of everyone young and innocent. He tried his best to protect all of his students, all of the kids that came into camp, all of the teens, anyone that was young and impressionable. He would be there to protect and keep safe. One day, however, he couldn't follow up on our promise, and one of the kids ended up getting hurt. He was devastated as it led to the kid's death. He didn't know what to do. Threw himself into his work, but nothing felt the same. He couldn't protect the children. And if he couldn't do that, what good was he being a camp counselor? If he couldn't protect the kids that he was meant to protect? This thought slowly consumed him and drove him mad. And it wasn't long until his mind became decrepit and devoid of any kind of feelings. If he couldn't protect them, why not draw the other counselors into a better position to protect them? Why not make up scenarios that will lead to him having to save them again? It was a dark thought that kept creeping into the back of his mind. He couldn't draw it out no matter how hard he tried. The thoughts were spreading like vines, poison ivy itching across his skin as he walked through the forest. He didn't know how he got here. He didn't know what he was doing. All he knew is that he couldn't control his body anymore, as it wasn't just his. He had become a host for some grotesque ideals and ideas. What is a camp counselor if he cannot protect the ones meant to be protected? What good is he at his job if he cannot do the bare minimum? And with that is the end of the camp counselor story. I know camp counselors closely work with kids, so I had to have it related in a way, maybe an accident, and something like that is the lines I was thinking of. So I hope that story is okay. I hope it's not too out of place for this piece. As I said, I'm doing these on the fly, and this is my second time recording these because I don't think my first one was good for this piece. I don't think it got the point I wanted to across. But this is honestly one of my favorite pieces I did in this. So, the next prompt is the lovers. Now, this prompt, I didn't know what the hell to do. Honestly, camp counselor gave me a brief idea of what I wanted, but the lovers, I didn't know what to do. At first, I thought maybe have them melting together, but I didn't end up going with that in any of my rough draft sketches that I did before the one I actually end up settling on. I did try some new things for this drawing that you're going to see coming, but other than that, there's not really much to say, so I'll let Story Me take over. Without further ado, the lovers. So I don't have names for these characters, but we're just going to call them Emo and Jack for easy sake of me remembering things. Okay. Emo really liked this popular guy in his school to a obsessive degree. He was a jock, team captain, had a lot of people fawning over him, and rightfully so. At least Emo thought so. Although he didn't like the attention that the jock got from other people, he still found it reasonable. He started with petty things like stealing things he had thrown away, or sneaking into his house late at night, following him home, making sure he's safe. But then, one day, as he's walking home, he noticed something behind his shoulder. The jock was following him, not sneakily either. He was very out in the open. Emo could tell right away, but he was a little worried. Was he upset that because he caught him stealing, or that look in his eye? That was pure obsession. Emo knew it very well. It was creepy and weird, but in some odd way, it gave him the chills in all the best possible ways. Was he sick, like Emo was? Were they meant to be? Did the jock have a crush on him too? What was going on? There's so many questions, thoughts racing in his mind, but no longer was the fear of anger between him and Jock, but obsession. Pure, exquisite obsession. So, for this last story, I wanted it to be about yanderes. I adore the trope in between two yanderes falling for each other and not knowing about it, so I wanted to go with that, because the lovers gave me, no idea of what to do, at all. At least for camp counselor, you kind of had, a position for him to be, or her to be, or them. But for this one, there was, nothing. I didn't even have, an idea for a pose. You could see me at the beginning, sketching, madly, trying to figure out, a good pose for this, and then I finally settled on this one. I did try a different coloring technique, keeping most of it in grayscale, and I really liked that. So, with the end of that, this video has come to a close, sadly. So, I'll see you guys next time in the next Goretober video. But in between then, please be sure to subscribe and like this video if you like my content and would like to see more from me. Although it's totally okay if you don't want to, and my style of videos is not your vibe. That's perfectly good, and that's perfectly okay. My videos I just put in the background if you want to listen to, and listen to me rant, yap, or tell stories about characters. So if that's not your vibe, that you don't have to. My videos are mostly for background noise for artists that like to draw and listen to videos like myself, or just people who like to watch art content and speed paints and listen to the stories or me yapping. But anyway, that's the end of today's video. I will see you guys next time in the next Goretober video. I hope you guys are excited, and how is your Goretober drawings coming along? Let me know in the comments.